I'm also the CEO, Maona Lads Limited. Now, we are here to answer all your questions, so be ready. You can share the video, ndio tuweze kufikia watu wengi na usikie ukiwa mahali ambapo unapofaa. Asante.
Good evening, our viewers. My name is Peter Gitau Kariuki, Director of Olive Limited, and we are here to answer all your questions pertaining real estate. Karibuni sana, as you also share our live streaming to other people so that they can also get informed. Karibuni sana.
Thank you very much. So before we dive into your questions that you're going to send in through all our platforms, I will give the chairman of the association a chance to tell us about the association. So Bwana Kenywa, welcome.
Asante sana wale ambao mnatutazama. Na Association of Real Estate Stakeholders is an association for company directors ambao wanauza mashamba na wengine wanajenga nyumba, and we came together with one reason of restoring confidence to all investors. Mnakumbuka hapo beleni sifa za uuzaji mashamba zilikuwa zimeharibika zaidi, na pia watu wako watajua kampuni halali namna gani. So we came together and decided that because we do a clean business, it is good we restore the confidence to all our investors and make them know that even the real estate, we have good people who have decided to do a clean business. Kwa hivyo tukaungana pamoja na tukatengeneza hii Association of Real Estate Stakeholders. Ile tunakuambia kwamba ukitaka kujua kama mtu ni member, you can go to www.realatorsolutions.org na jua mtawekewa hapo kwa screen, na ndio uweze kujua yule unaweza nunulia shamba ama ni mmoja wetu, because hapo mbeleni haungejua utafanya nini. Na changamoto sana ni kwa wenye wanawekeza, kwa sababu we want them to have confidence, because wherever your money is where even your heart is. So we want you to have confidence, and one way to make you have the confidence is to make sure that we secure your money. Na hatukuwa na ofisi ambayo ungenunua shamba usikie shida zimeanza kutokea, haungejua mahali utaenda, kwa sababu ndio unaona wengine wanaenda kwa media because they don't have somewhere to come walete malalamishi yao to bring the complaints. Hawakuwa na mahali. So we decided to have an office so that you can have an office where you can report any issue relating with land. Now we started the association, and we have our main office at Spamol, Thika Road, ni pale Loiro Kibo, second floor S37. Na ndio sasa ukisikia unakuwa na wasiwasi ama mtu amekuuzia shamba lakini hachukui simu, naenda pale, ukienda kujenga unakuta kuna mwingine. Sasa tukasema ndio tuweze kumaliza hizi issues, tutengeneze ofisi ambayo itakuwa ikipokea malalamishi yenu, because we came to realize that shelter is a need. You cannot live without a house. You cannot live without somewhere you can call your home. So tulijua kila mtu anahitaji mahali anaweza ishi, na tukajua hatutaki kuvunja watu moyo ambao wanataka kuwekeza, na hii yote ilikuja ili wewe usivunjike moyo. Najua watu wamepoteza pesa mingi wakinunua shamba na wakinunua plot, but we still have good people where you cannot lose money while buying the land. So our main purpose is to restore the confidence in investment. So wherever you want to purchase a land or you want to buy a plot, we are making sure that whoever is selling to you is a good person, because watu wamekuwa na mambo mengi mpaka kuna wengine wameenda hata zaidi. Unakuta huyu mtu hata akiuza shamba hajali vile utajipata mahali pale kesho. So we make sure that our members are doing a clean work. They are not double allocating. hawauzi shamba mara mbili, wakikuzia shamba iko, na hii ndio inafanya tukue na association ambayo inaaminika. Asante.
Labda umesema kwamba if anyone has a complaint akuja kwa ofisi, probably you can take us through what process or what actions are you going to take after one reports to the office.
Okay, thank you so much. Kitu cha kwanza kile huwa tunaambia mtu ni kama umeripoti kwa office, we will make sure that huyo mtu ama ni member wetu. Hiyo ndio tunaangalia kwanza, kwa sababu akiwa member wetu ni reachable, tunaweza mfikia na tuweze kumwambia hapa kuna malalamishi hii na hii. Ila hatuwezi fikia ni mtu kama sio member. Na ndio tunasema kwamba ukinunua unahakikisha yule ambaye amekuzia ni member, ndio kukiwa na hata shida yoyote, huyu tutaweza kumfikia na tuweze kumuuliza hiyo maswali, na kama kuna kitu inaenda vibaya tutaweza kumuelezea ili aweze kurekebisha. Thank you.
I think I'm going to give this chance to my fellow journalists so that they can also ask some of the questions or the questions that they have. So
thank you so much, Wangoi, and thank you so much, Chairman, for that very comprehensive brief about what you do at RESA. My question is evictions that are going on in Athi River, and today we also had a court ruling that people who live in Jiro, which is also part of Nairobi, that we can see inevitable evictions. Maybe you as RESA, what is your reaction towards those things that have been happening?
Thank you very much. My name is Paminas once again. To start with, it is quite unfortunate when we see such evictions happening. But again, this takes me back to the mobilization that we should do towards our customers. The biggest challenge we have with us Kenyans is that we are quick to making investment decisions without doing the due diligence. And I want to share a brief due diligence process that one should do before you even do any investment in any property. The first thing, you need to ask for a title deed. In all these cases, we most likely we are having to realize that these are properties which didn't have title deeds. So number one thing, from the primary document, which is the legal document, a title deed was missing out. So you realize that most people have the tendency of ignoring the basic understanding of what one should do. So for me, I would say, and this is, I believe the rest of us can support this, the first thing to do when you are purchasing land, get to know whether it has a title deed or a certificate or an allotment letter. As the CS mentioned last week, a share certificate cannot be transferable, meaning it is not a legal document that can be used as an authentication of ownership of land. And therefore, as Kenyans, we need to be careful when we are investing. I know there could be some community lands that have been subdivided or allocated to community with a share certificate. The first original owner of that share certificate is the original owner of that land. This cannot be transferred until there is a due legal process which a lawyer can be able to expound more of this. But for me, I would say this is my comment. It's good for Kenyans to do due diligence. And due diligence leaves not only going to the search in the land registry, but go to the ground and get to know the chief of the land, of the area. Because chiefs are the principal, the national government representatives. They know the history of the land, whether it was transferred from a family, whether it was a community land, whether this is the first buyer or the second buyer. They can give you that information. I believe in all these cases, this has not been done properly, and that is why we find ourselves in the issues we are. The one for East African Portland, I think it is in the public domain that East African Portland had even given warnings. But we Kenyans, we continue to invest in the same place. So for me, I may say it's a tough, painful lesson that Kenyans are learning in the hard way, but it's good to do due diligence before investing in any property. And the last thing I can say, somebody mentioned, even the drunkard in your area, in any land that you are buying, knows the history of the land. So it's also good to ask the people on the ground. It doesn't mean only the drunkard. Even the locals in the area, do they know the history of that land? And when you hear there is an issue, please don't save for 10 years and take only 1 minute to make an investment decision. That's my advice to the Kenyans. Thank you.
My question question goes to the chairman. Since the association is there to build confidence to Kenyans, and there are some of the companies that are not already members of the association. What is your take as the association to reach such a company so that they become the members of the association? Number two, since you started, is there the number of people who have reduced the cases of number being frauded, or is it still increasing?
Thank you so much for that good question, Simon. What I would like to answer first is the cases are reducing. Why? Because now Kenyans are understanding what we are doing. So many Kenyans are doing the verification first, because as I have told you, we have the website and we have the short code, so that I know our producer will put it on the screen. So the cases are reducing massively. Amazingly, I can tell you, if we did not start this association, now we could not have the real estate in Kenya, because people could have lost their hope. So as we came, we also restored the hope. As the Bible says in the book of Romans 5 verse 5, that hope does not disappoint. When people see us fighting, not because of us, but because I have even seen one of the questions online. People are saying, what are we going to do? What are you going to do for us who lost their money? We may not be able to do anything for those who lost their money earlier. But from now, that's why we are telling people we don't want any more flooding to continue. That's why we are also having like this live, so that many people can know that we exist. The other question, we as the clients, because we as the clients, the people who are purchasing the land from us, now you have the voice, because you have known that we are existing. Because we tried before, even sending letters, we tried advertising to those companies to join us, and many declined. So now the clients have the power. They can tell them, if you are not registered, we are not going to go do a business. Because if you do a clean business, as you are coming to register with us, we are not asking many questions. We are just asking, do you have a company? Do you have a land? If you have those things, and we see that you don't have a record of fraud, then you are a direct member. Yeah, we register you automatically, and you start being our member. So it seems many people who don't want to join us, and they are still surviving with their companies, and they know we exist. Maybe we don't know what they are planning for Kenyans.
Maybe just to start with from what you have rendered, you are saying that most members, there are some people who really don't want to join you. But my question would be, is it mandatory for a realtor to join you? And two, from what I've gathered is that since you started, you have been more on a sensitization campaign. What are other long-term measures that the association is doing to ensure that we don't go back to where we were?
Thank you so much. We have our elder here, who is the chairman for the Council of Elders. I think he is in a position to answer that.
Thank you so much for that question. It is not a must for those companies to join us. And as our chairman had already tried to explain, we as real estate companies, we came together because we realized that once one company fails their clients, we are equally affected, because they create fear. Right now, even the Mavoko issue, the Athi River issue, is affecting us directly, because there are a lot of people, majority of people do not know exactly how do they verify that this is a genuine company, this is a genuine circle, as one of our directors have said. So what we are encouraging people to do is, if you want to join us, it is free in terms of there are legal procedures that we usually have. We have put in place. We have the code of ethics that is guiding us, that is managing us, making sure that we don't go out there and also become fraudsters like the rest. And why one fear to join if they are doing clean business? So, and the parameters that we have set is because those companies that are doing genuine business, definitely you are there to protect your name first, and also our brands. We have our names to protect, but there are others who don't care about that. So, and if somebody is not fearing or hiding anything, why not join those who are like-minded, those who are looking forward to bring sanity, to bring back confidence to our clients? Especially, I can speak about our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora. They are not around maybe even to do that due diligence. But if they have already, they fear even their own family members. Yeah, because some have sent money and they have never acquired any land or any property through their members. So they are also looking for somewhere credible people, credible companies that they can have trust in. So what I can say in a nutshell is we are encouraging the members of the public, not even the companies to come and join us, the members of the public, to verify whom they are buying from. One, because if they demand, initially, I can maybe give an example. Initially, when the LSK was not formed, majority of people lost their money through lawyers who are not registered. But since then, we can see it's not really that much, though there are some fraudsters here and there, but it has minimized the number of people or the cases that people have been defrauded or have lost their money through claims that were given to lawyers who are not genuine. The same sanity that came to LSK or the lawyers also is the one that also we are bringing to the real estate industry, making sure that at least when you are buying, you don't have a lot of fear looking back, whom am I buying from? So that's what we are looking exactly to bring that confidence back through laid down procedures. And we will speak even more about how do you register and join the
I said from the start I've realized is that the association now is on a sensitization campaign.
Yes.
My question was, what are long-term measures that you're also maybe putting in place to ensure that even if now you do the sensitization, maybe you have also done something else to ensure that we don't go back to where we were?
One, we have put short-term and long-term measures to make sure that there is continuity of the association, and also at least people can have confidence within the real estate industry. What we have done is, one, what we can guarantee our clients is the way we appraise the companies that join us. Yeah? We are also pushing that we create, government do come with the policies without the stakeholders participating. Who are these stakeholders? We have almost 14,000 companies that are dealing with real estate. But does the government know who are they exactly? They don't know. And we want to become a voice even when there are regulations that are being done, so that when the government is coming to regulate, we already self-regulate ourselves, and we become a voice of and setting standards of how the industry will be run. So making sure that at least in terms of the laid down procedures is, how do we appraise the companies that are joining us? We usually have even private investigators that look at the credibility of those who are joining us, and at least more frequently through our shortcode and through our website, people can send an SMS That's where one of the source of information about a company that is there and is not registered and also selling properties. You look at if you know majority of people know exactly whom they are dealing with. So if they have a system, we have a system already. That is a system that we have laid down. It's a system that you can send an SMS and you get any question that you ask relevant to a company that is within. Those that are without, definitely we don't have any way that we can protect you from being defrauded. So those already that have joined, at least we know them. They are clean companies and they are credible companies to deal with. So the only thing is to just give information, educate masses about how to verify credible companies in the short and also in the long term. Thank you.
Give Njoroge a chance. Thank you very much, Liz, for joining us. I think I'd want to give you this chance to first introduce yourself, and welcome for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. My name is Elizabeth Wanjiko Juguna. I'm the director of RISI Investments Limited. So RISI is just Liz in Kikuyu. RISI, you know, we have a problem with R and L, and that is where RISI came from. Yes.
This question that we're getting from our viewers is about the credibility, genuinity, and my money being safe with you. You know that land, if you sell for me a piece of land, the land is static. You cannot move. So the buyer and the seller, nobody goes with the land. But how are people defrauded? Where does this money go to? Why do people buy air and we can see land? Anyone from the panel can answer.
For sure.
All right. Thank you for that question. And I think the fraud has many faces. It is manifold ways in which people are defrauded, and I want to systematically look at it in one way. One, some of the cases that has resulted in them being publicized as fraud, initially they could have been one way or another be mitigated. And I think one of the things that the association is doing is we have new people, for example, who are getting into the industry. And one of the very important lessons that we are learning even from our seniors as we join together, there is a need for even educating and financial literacy, management of resources, because in this industry people come and put money in your account, and maybe this money people are not able to differentiate. This is capital, this is money for title deed, and in the process, because these people are coming into the industry and they don't know how to run and they don't have the structures, one of the things that this association is doing is that we have the seniors who have been there longer in the industry. They are able to educate and be able to mentor the one who are upcoming, because some of these issues is because someone maybe got a goodwill, got land, and they had maybe a joint venture with the owner or something like that, and they were able to dispose, and the money came to their account, but maybe because of financial mismanagement, they used the money and were not able to clear with the owner. So realize when they initially were starting this, fraud was not intended, but it arose somewhere because someone did not have proper knowledge on how to manage resources that came through the account. So in fact, one of the things that we have said right now, you can hear many of those cases, is because more people are coming together. We have mentorship, we have our elders who you may have, people are coming together and they are being taught, how do I manage my resources? Some of them you realize also, there have also been companies amongst those who are buying and selling, and you realize you'll go and you have an agreement with the owner, and then because of competition, even amongst us, someone will go and say that you just call that person, give them back their money, I'll pay more. And that competition has been very unhealthy. And that's why one thing we said that we are also even trying to weed out that unhealthy competition, because we don't want to compete, we want to complement each other. So that is one angle that how fraud come in, but it is unintended. However, we have people from the beginning, by the time they are getting in, it was intended fraud. For them, they were not, they go all the way. They go and forge documents. of course, together with some log land officers. And I think that's something that has even come out very clearly even in Mavoko issue. So those are cases that you realize from the beginning is a case maybe they will come and know this land is a community land or the owners are not around. And these people will go and now liaise with the people in the registries and they come up with documents. So some people even will go and do due diligence. But at the end of it all, once they are done, only to realize everything had been faked and it was a setup. So there is the intended fraud and also there is unintended fraud. So we are trying to mitigate both. One, the fact that people used to do some of those things and they will close that company, open another one. And you see, we have the government mechanism that are supposed to regulate us. However, they don't know when someone is opening a company through the registrars of business, they are not able to tell. But as the reason why we are there to complement the government is that we know each other. So if you come and you tell us you have a new company and selling land, you'll have to tell us why are you opening a different company when you had another company, unless something has to be in the offing somewhere. So we are a complementary system with the government, and I think we are trying to introduce something called professionalism, because you realize every professional in this country, be it pharmacists, be it doctors, they have their association. But because and that's why you realize even the other day there was a fraud issues to do with the lawyers, but the whistleblower are the LSK. Although they are not the one who are prosecuting, because they are not the government, they are the one who are the eyes, and they can be able to tell there's something that is going wrong, and these people are about to destroy our industry, and therefore they speak out. And I think we are that voice, and through that way we are able to mitigate the frauds that could have arisen. And I think one thing I may like to add is that we may not have so much to do with the past, because the past already, there are those things that have been done, but we are the future, and that's why we are coming to restore. Something was lost somewhere, the confidence was lost, people in diaspora chose not to invest anymore, but we are there so that we can restore what was lost. People could buy land and be assured that whatever they are buying, they'll get what they bought. So I think we are doing a pretty good job. And this air in Asemekana is because people trust people. And also number two, land, some people will even be taken to the ground and they see the land. But actually, unless my brother said, you speak within the locals, because they know the stories. There are even some stories you realize they have not blown up. Kuna villagers wanajua kuna mzozo unaanza katika familia. So those are people, when you do your groundwork, you're able to get the stories from that drunkard in that village, from that person ambayo ni neighbor hapo umepelekwa kuchukua shamba. And that's why we are insisting there are those due diligence that we are sensitizing our members. Before you buy land, this and this and this is what need to be done, so that we can mitigate in terms of future fraud that would have happened. Thank you.
You have mentioned about how other people are collaborating with the government people or government agencies. As the association, how closely are you working to the government so that you can close that loophole?
I think one thing I'm saying, we are just starting, and one thing we are doing is we are doing a lot of sensitization, because the issues to do, for example, with green cards, what is due diligence in the first place, because it is multifaceted. And I'm saying that people know, the people who are enlightened in buying land, they only know, just take the title, go and do a search, and then no encumbrance, and they think that's all of it. But we are coming in to teach our people from the ground up. Go for site visit. They are free. Go to the ground. Don't be in a hurry. There are neighbors there. Talk to them. From there, there's the issue of the land search. There is the map. Sometimes you do a search and then you go to buy the RIM, you can't find that land, the number is not there. So what we are doing, because from our part we cannot go into investigate government officers, it's not our work, but what we can do from our end, we can make sure the people who we are dealing with, who are our members, are doing what is supposed to be, what is right. And also now the people who are buying, the customers, have all the know-how, so that when some things happen, is maybe either they ignored the warnings, or there was something that was beyond our ability to control. But in terms of maybe being able to investigate and making sure that there are issues that we are able to maybe investigate the government officers. We may not be able to do that, but anything that is coming, because we are there every day. That's our shop. We go there, we are producing titles, we are doing a lot of things. If anything is coming up, if there is an uproar with someone who is doing something fishy there, we are the first people to know. We have now a mechanism in which you can share information as director people who are in this industry. Tunaambiana hapa kuna issue, huyu mtu kuna venye anafanya title, tukipeleka hapa hazitoki, because there are so many issues that have been affecting us, but as we don't have ways ya kujitetea, unapelekea registrar, anafungia hizo vitu na anaenda holiday ya miezi 3. But our customer don't know. You promise them you'll give them in 1 week, but together we can be able to share that information so that we can disseminate that information to the public, and that's the part we come in for sensitization
of title issuance, the delay. As the association, what have you taken place? What have you taken, the measures that you have taken place so that there is no any delay of issuance of the title deeds? Number 2, the issue of fake title deeds as the association. What are your measures into that?
Before I respond to that question, there's something you had asked and I wanted to add something. Going forward, we are working together with the parliamentary committees associated with the land to develop bills and regulations that can help us regulate the industry. Remember, we cannot regulate an industry. We are an association. So our main goal is to bring ourselves together, and then we become a voice when contributing to the regulations that are going to be passed in both parliament, either the Senate or the National Assembly. But coming to the issue of the titles, we cannot also be able to control the title processing, because that's a government office. Like, for instance, right now, there's an issue of, not an issue, it's actually the Ardhi Sasa is being implemented along the counties. So the process has to change, because the Ardhi Sasa process has come, and you realize that it has caused delays amongst our processes. So the most important thing for me, I believe, is communication. Customers lose trust because you don't communicate with them. And if there is a delay, we tend to communicate to our customers, because they are human beings. They also understand that government offices sometimes can delay the process. So the first thing, and I believe that is what we are doing, and sensitizing our members, ensure you communicate to the customers if there is a delay, because some things are beyond you. He has just said somebody has gone for a leave after 3 or 3 weeks, or for 1 month, for instance. You cannot be able to process anything, because if it was in their docket, the way our registries are structured, if it was being handled by one person, it's hard for you to get to another person. So unless now we collaborate and see, can we be able to engage these partners because they are our partners, to ensure that even if one is not there, it can be done. If I go there as a person, they'll actually blacklist me. But if we go as an association, they are going to see this as a team that is working towards our goal. On the fake titles, again, we can only be able to verify that through the registry, because for us, if I get a title, I cannot be able to know whether it's a genuine title or not. But there are the basic things that I can highlight for customers to note. The first thing is a seal. Any original title has a seal, which is, when you touch, has some is original. You know what I mean? It's rough. You cannot fake a seal. That's for a fact, even for our companies. But besides that, you also go to page 2. Page 2 of every title shows the history of the title. From which block was it subdivided? How has it been maybe transferred? Has it been charged? So page 2 and page 3 highlights the history of the title. But again, the last page also comes in handy. It also has a seal and a serial number. Most of us don't take time to look at that. We only see the front page, and when you are given a front page, you are quick to say, I can get a search. I want to say the serious registries cannot get you a search without all the 4 pages. And if you have the 4 pages, most likely this will not be, they cannot process a search unless they are rogue officers in the registry. They cannot process a search which is not having all the 4 pages of the title in existence. So I think that's what we're encouraging, and that's why we have such sessions, to educate our members, to educate our customers, to show them what is the process of verifying a title. Because a title is just a paper. But what makes it a title are those things I have mentioned. But most important, the green card is actually the title deed. Because even if you lost your title deed today, you can go and approach the registry to give you another title deed. They'll gazette that notice, and after the stipulated days are over, you can get another title. Where will the other one come from? The green card. And as my friend, my colleague here has said, the biggest also issue we have been having in the past is lost green cards. So we are working together and seeing how we can partner with the government officers to ensure that nothing like lost green card will ever be had in Kenya. Because you cannot lose a green card which processes the title It means somebody is trying. It is made to disappear in my view, and I might be misquoted, but it is made to disappear, as you already have said. So I don't think there's anything like a loss. How can a document be lost from a government safe? It's only that somebody has made it disappear. Thank you.
Before I go to my far left,
Yes.
probably you could tell us in regards to the delayed titles. Does a delayed title means that you're scamming your client? Have you experienced cases where a delay has been mistaken or has been taken as a scam to your clients? And how have you handled that?
I can give my colleagues, but let me just say, as I said, communication is key. I have dealt with a lot of customers from diaspora, and what they tell us, you may delay the process because some things are beyond our control. But are you communicating to the customers? If you communicate to customers repeatedly, they know the update. You know, you're not just hit and run. You are not encouraging developers who are hit and run. That you want to deal with customers on an artificial relationship. We want to create a relationship. Even when you tell customers there's a delay because of A, B, C, D, and they can also call. You know, they have also a right to call and send somebody to go and verify. As far as you're giving the genuine information, there's nothing to cause alarm when you tell customers the truth. The biggest problem is we don't want to tell them the truth, and again, they are not seeing any progress. So the next thing, somebody would just raise a message. You know, we have been conned. Yet it is something beyond the developer. But maybe somebody can add.
Yeah, we have been having those issues about delayed titles, and as my colleagues have said, it's all about maybe the person who was dealing with the title processing, the registrar, has gone for a leave, paternal or something else. And the key issue here is the communication. Just communicate to your client that this and this has happened, and most of the time when you communicate, they usually understand. So the key here is all about communication. And most of the companies that you're seeing that they tell their customers to go on the loads, demanding their titles, it's just all about the communication. And then getting direct to your clients, and then they will understand the process. The key here is just to understand the process and also to understand everything. Don't hide anything about the process, because this is a government. They can even follow what you are doing. Yes.
Maybe I can add something. Just remember, another thing that I should recommend to even our members, you have recommended to them, don't give unrealistic deadlines. You know, sometimes you tell a customer you'll get your title in 3 days, but you're not the registrar. You know, the transfer process can take even maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. The recommended legal period is usually 90 days. So either before or on, you better surprise a customer by giving them a title in 1 week, then tell them you give them in 1 week, and you delay it for 90 days. Yet you had a legal opportunity for you to indicate that. So those are some of the things I can recommend.
Let me just mention one thing also on that, because that's where now the media comes in. We are living in a digital era, and you know there is a court of public opinion. And we have clients sometimes who are told some kind of stories, and for them is either their way or the highway. And now that's where they will come to you people, the media people, and they are saying, they are bloggers, especially the bloggers. I commend our mainstream bloggers. You know, is unregulated, and they will go there, post stories, and the next moment you are trending. You know, so I think that's why even us as an organization, we are saying now we are a one-stop shop. You can reach out to either the association or to the individual company and want to find out, because some of these even issues that have blown up could have been mitigated. Maybe need a delay somewhere, and then it was blown out of proportion. Thank you.
Introducing yourself.
This forum, and my questions go to the chairman. If you can give us, the gaps and context, people who are watching us are maybe potential buyers or people who have bought land from different companies. Every company have its own statistics, either quarterly, monthly. Can you tell us maybe for that period you have been in the market as an association, how many members have you registered? If the numbers were high, as you said before we started, do you have the numbers like for the last 1 month, for the last 6 months, we have received 100 complaints. Out of 100, we have solved 10. These are without mentioning names or the legal aspect of the whole thing. We have registered 10 companies, 20 companies, and we are investigating 20. I'm just using the numbers just to get to the context.
Thank you so much. We'll start. There is a question I want also to add, which was asked by Alvin about the future of the association or what we are doing for the future. I will start there. What I want to say is we have code of ethics. Code of ethics is what we are not supposed to do and what we are supposed to do. And we also have the Constitution. These two guide us and shows our future, because you have to reach our standard to continue working with you. And the reason why we have the code of ethics, so that we can be able to maintain the ethics, and because there are many ethics that makes even the company to survive. There are some do's and don'ts that you are not supposed to do. And every company that joins us even today, we give them the Constitution and the Code of Ethics so that they can understand how we operate. This we do for us to create the future. Because as you have said, from the time we started, we have deregistered 5 companies. And the reason why we deregistered them, because we did not only start this association to sanitize some people. We started so that we can be able to have good characters in the real estate. And the code of the ethics were not correct. So we had to deregister them, because we mostly help the clients. Because when one company fails, affects the other. We were affected. That's why you have even the courage to have a seat tonight. Because the other companies that failed and flooded Kenyans, they also affected us. So for us to be able to avoid this, because we can start an association to sanitize some people and to make some people who are not good to be good. And you can penetrate during the registration process. You may hide your figures when you are registering. But if we come to discover the characters later, we will deregister you. Because we always say that we are here to protect the clients. So if 2-3 clients and they complain about double allocation, they complain about you sold a plot that you don't have, they complain that you gave a fake title deed, automatically you will be deregistered. Because we don't do don't sanitize people. What we do is to make people to know the real people. Other mistakes can be corrected. Maybe a delay of title, maybe some disagreement with your client. Those can be corrected, because we have also helped many people. We have helped many people. Some people bought land, but all of a sudden they did not have enough money. They have argued with the owner, and they did not come to a good terms. We chip in. Because in this association, we have several committees. We have oversight committees that oversees the project that the association is supposed to do. We have the Council of Elders. These Council of Elders are the disciplinary committee. So when you have some mistakes in your company, and we have some reports, you are reported severally in our office, you'll be called. And the Council of Elders will talk to you, and we will see how they can collect what is happening. And if you are not ready to be collected, you will not continue to be our member, because we want people who have the mistakes but they are ready to be collected. So those who are not ready to be collected, we don't have the room. Because we came so that we can make people to feel they are in the right place. And others have brought their complaints in the association, and we have dealt with them, and even without anybody knowing, because the Council of Elders are so secretive. They collect the errors behind the tent, and nobody knows what is happening, and the customers are satisfied. And we are even as an association, we are going beyond, because we are making sure even those our members who are suffering because of lack of finances, we are going to make sure we are approaching people who can give finances, because they are good people. They are good people who sold land, and people were not able to pay during the time they had agreed. So we are going beyond, and we are making sure that our people will not continue suffering. We will go beyond anything that is collectible. We will collect, because we are not here just to make people non-members. We are here also to make our members to be strong. We have held several meetings, several conferences, and we call some speakers who can teach our members how to manage their money, who can teach our members how to be good CEOs, because we believe for us to have a good future, we must empower our people.
Chairman,
Thank you.
One, before I give my colleague a chance.
Okay.
Then someone is asking, how legal is the power of attorney when it's coming to the transfer of land?
Okay.
Another thing, how effective is a special board? You know, special board, I pick Bonagevenji, I pick my colleague, we see someone, and then because I know 2 or 3 people, maybe they're in diaspora, you have a piece of land, a land company approaches you, you enter into a pact with your lawyer, the lawyer is crooked, then you are away from Kenya, but you find your land has been sold because someone said, I'm the one who has been granted the power of attorney, and you end up losing everything. And then you didn't give us the numbers.
Companies to registered.
Okay, thank you. We are over 100 members. I don't know the correct number that we have at the moment, because people are joining us daily. Even in the Council of Elders now, we have over 10 people who have applied during the weekend. They want to be members. So we are looking their genuinity so that we can register them. So it is, I don't know the exact number at the moment, but we are over 100. So we add members daily, and we thank God for that. What I want to tell people, land transaction is easy and sometimes it's difficult. Special board has no problem, because the special board is called when you don't want to eat the normal board. Because the same people who sit on the special board, they just add in numbers in the normal board. And some of the people who sit in the normal board are not much effective. I'm sorry to say that. But the one that matters during the land transfer, the one person that matters most is the registrar. Because the registrar is the one who knows where is the green card, who was the owner of this land, who this land came from where. Those registrars who have stayed even for a long in a county or in a registration office, they know the history. So what we can pray daily is to have genuine registrars, because these people know who owns the land and who can change the land. And to change the land from my name to another person, it is somehow tricky. Those people must have used some tricks somewhere, because me, I can put a name, I can give my client a land, but even if I change a land to my client and the client declines to pay, to change from my name to his name to my name, to the name of the company, it is very difficult. So I think these are corrupt people who have decided just to do wrong. So what I can tell people, if you are far, it is good not to trust all people. You know, there are people who trust people very easily. They call you, they tell you, bring the ID, you bring, change here, and you don't know even the details. You don't know the reason why he is telling you to change. So it is good to be very sensitive when you are giving your details. Because whoever can change your land without your concept is somebody who is a thief and he is evil. So doing all those things, they don't just happen. It's somebody who has planned to do evil, like somebody who know he want to steal from somewhere. So and they have their tricks. But when it comes to the lead transfer, it is very difficult to lose your land.
And that.
Yeah, let me just explain something on this issue of special board and normal board. First, what happens in the board? It's good to understand the underlying understanding of what happens in the board. Whenever you go to a board, or what we call the land control board, you go to consent to agree that you are transferring a land from person A to person B. And therefore, for this to happen, most likely than not, there has been an existing sale agreement. There has been a lawyer who has witnessed that you are indeed transferring this land from person A to person B. So whether it is a special board, whether it's a normal board, the willingness of the buyer to the willingness of the seller to transfer is already not forced. On the issue of power of attorney, especially, let me use this because this is used by most people who are in diaspora. A power of attorney, remember, has been signed by an advocate or what we call attorney from the country that you are residing, indicating I am giving this power to person X to transact any of my land dealings or transact land dealing number A, not all of them. So this is already a signed document by a legal officer. So for me, even when I'm taking a land which is being sold on behalf, the first thing I have to ask is, can I get the power of attorney or that power of attorney in physical form? If not in physical form, can I have it signed and sent to me on email? Because an email is a trail that can be able to be used in the court of law when I'm referring to a case. So that way, it's good for people to know you cannot just come and say, I have power of attorney. Then can you show me? I have declined so many transactions because of lack of power of attorney being presented in physical. I would rather lose a deal of several millions than lose a name which can cost me several billions in the future. So I think it's good for people to understand power of attorney should not be just granted anyhow again. Don't just say, my brother, my sister is in Kenya, I can just give them the power of attorney to transact on all my land transactions. What if you get at loggerheads with that person? The power of attorney should also be given to somebody who is very trustworthy and somebody you trust in dealing with that. But again, let me also put this as a disclaimer. Don't just give a power of attorney to transact on any property. I would recommend give power of attorney project by project or property by property, so that in case the first one you didn't go right, the second one you can correct and get somebody else who can help you do it in a better way. Because if you give somebody full authority, even the one that he had already done, remember they can revert and even say you are selling to themselves. How would you be able to change that? So it's good for us to be very careful on who we give the power of attorney. And as the chairman has said, somebody who would want to misuse that. And I'll give a case study because it's good to give a case study. One client of mine from the US came, and this guy was told there's a very good deal that was happening in Nanyuki. So the guy was told there's an acre going for 500,000. So, and I was telling him a plot I'm selling at 300,000. So you can imagine an acre at 500 and a plot at 300,000. So the guy comes and tells me, Paminas, I want to go and see your plots because I have been referred by somebody who is very trustworthy to me, but I also want to go and see this other land. So we drive together in the same car from Nairobi to Nanyuki. When we go there, the broker comes and he says, this is my classmate who are with him in class from class 1 to class 8. So I know he cannot cheat me. So the first question I asked, where is the map? I asked him to ask for the map. As Dominic here said about the registry index map, get to know the map of the area. The first thing this guy said, I have my maps. So I told him, it's okay. Which block is it? Because I also know about Nanyuki. I have been selling land there for long. So I know the different blocks that are there. In which block is it? And the guy said, in block X. So I said, okay, let's go. The person was not comfortable going with me in the same car. And I remember you have come with a client from Nairobi. I've actually driven them. So I told them, you can use his car. And then I used my car to the site. But the client insisted we go in the same car. It was a 7-seater. So we go to the site, and I'm using this as a case study to show how people can be easily swindled if you don't do the right due diligence. We go to the site, and when we go into the ground, I ask them, where is the land? Okay, I'm not asking them, but we are asking ourselves, where is the land? The guy says, okay, shamba iko kutoka hapa mpaka pale, beacon zimeenda. So I ask them, okay, show me in the map, where is the land? I know how to interpret a map. You cannot lie to me about a map. I have been working on it. So the guy said, okay, I didn't carry the right map. Luckily, I had my map for the area. So I just produced my map and I said, can you show me where the land is? It was 1 acre, remember. So the land acre was not appearing in the map. Whether it had been done amendment or not, I am not sure. But let me fast track and say, then I asked, who is the owner of this land? And the guy said there was an old mzee who was sitting there. So they had come with the old mzee sitting there. They were saying that this is the owner of the land. So my simple question was, can I get your ID so that I verify whether the ID reading on the title deed is the ID reading on the person's idea who is claiming to be the owner? And the guy now changed the story. I have been given authority by my brother who could not be able to come. He is very sick. He is in ICU. So I told them, my car has fuel. Let's go to that ICU. We go and see this person. So the guy said, no, even we have been just reported that he has been discharged from the ICU. He is now in the home and it's very far. I insisted, my car has fuel. Let's go to the home and see this person. To cut the long story short, the guys called me aside and told me, Paminas, why do you want to destroy this deal? That is how bad the industry can be. So this person was claiming to have authority of sale. If the client was not having maybe some of us in their company, I'm sure that customer would have been conned that 500,000 because the deal was looking so good, even than what I was giving. He ended up buying 4 of my plots at 1 million, 1 point something million, at the expense of buying 1 acre, which is 8 plots, with the 500,000. So again, let's not be just rushing. Don't ignore some of us who are in the industry, and especially those members here, because you're not here to just sell. We want to create a relationship. If I go to the US today, that person will host me wholeheartedly because I was able to serve them and escape him. Remember, he was being conned by his classmate. I will say conned. So again, the power of attorney can be misused. Unless it is written, it is vapor. Because I say if nothing is written, it's just vapor. Thank you.
Thank you. And my question does not go to anyone in particular, but I'm looking at the real estate as an industry that is growing, has grown, and you can bear me witness that the demand for land is still rising. But looking from your own perspective as CEOs of land companies and other members of the REST Association who are in hundreds, what next after we sell all the land? Even people are saying we might even have no land to sell. What next for real estate? And maybe the madam can answer this one. And are we likely to? Probably you say that land does not end; it gets the value goes higher. But where are we headed? Do we still find that every land is bought in a few years? Because 14,000 land buying companies means that so much land is sold every day.
And maybe as you answer that, would you also tell us, as you say, a lot of you guys are really selling land. Are we likely to see a situation that you guys know you'll be encroaching on the agricultural land? Because there is that narrative out there that most of the land that was meant for urban settlement has already been occupied.
Yep.
And already you guys are already moving to the agriculture. Is it that maybe when you go to agricultural land, are you maybe trying to
regulate,
disappoint our president's wish of us? And the last one, Bwana Kenyon, maybe you can combine with the rest of the question. Potential buyers, there's 10% before you commitment fee, 10% before you buy the land. But you find some people are paying, you pay 10%, but 1 week before you get to the board for approval, someone has already paid 50%. Then the board doesn't approve. Then that's another trick people are, trap people, they are losing their money. You pay 10%, mtu anakuambia tukienda kwa board, before tuende kwa board utaniwekea 40%, so it's 50. But the board automatically, maybe the guy is a fraudster, they don't even approve, or someone turns up. There was a case, someone, Nyakenyu Alad, the title is registered under, initially I think the title deed were being issued to the women, they were not, nowadays they have just transformed the whole thing, So the title is registered under the wife. So the gentleman bought, but the guy who was selling, the husband was selling the wife's land. So he paid 50% after 10%.
But the seller said, now that is the husband, now my wife is sick, he cannot make it to the board. They opened a joint account, now the husband and the wife. And so he deposited the money. I can tell you the guy, during when they went to the board, one of the daughters stand up and say, my father is selling my mom's wife without the consent. No, they're the husband. They are the husband, rather. Sorry.
So I'm gonna start with the first question about whether we are gonna sell all the land that is in the country. First of all, God did a lot of things. He made it possible for human beings to fly. He created us in a way that we can make aeroplanes and we can fly. He made it possible for us to drive cars, create vehicles and drive cars. But one thing he didn't make possible was us to create more land. that was not unfortunately possible, unless maybe we're in Dubai, because that's another whole situation. But as a real estate sector, we go ahead and we tend to evolve. Right now we are selling land because right now people are growing in with the perception of, I want to have my own place. I want to build my own dynasty. As we evolve in the real estate industry, more we will involve in we will involve in a way that we are now building for these people, building apartments. So no, we are not going to oversell the countries, because there are some lands that we cannot touch. The agricultural lands, like he said, that we cannot touch. We are not going to get into that we cannot touch. So, as in a sense, we cannot sell everything in the country. There is no part that we cannot. That, of course, yes. They always say that nothing is too far, but we cannot sell. The real estate industry right now is so young. It's very, very young. As in, right now, our grandfathers are literally the first ones to have owned a title. So we have how many generations before we can say, no, we are not in a position to sell land. And by that time, of course, the government will have implemented, and of course, working hand in hand with the association, would have implemented structures in a way to make it possible for the next generation to have a place to call their own, for the next for the millennials to come to be able to have a place to call their own. So it's not possible to sell everything. Yes?
Thank you so much. I will start with Simon Shuri question. What I would like to say, the process of buying land is changing daily. Because before I remember the time we were starting, the trust was 100%. So when I was buying a land from somebody, alikuwa hata hana wasiwasi, bora tu amejua ni Kenya anataka kununua. Hata wengine walikuwa wananiambia, we katakata uuze, tutalipana baadaye. Na hata wenye walikuwa wanataka kununua hakuwa anakuja kuitisha title deed ati ndio ajufanye search na wafanye hizo mambo. So vile tunaendelea, the trust is going down. Watu waamini wengine. Na sasa inabidi watu, na ndio tuko hapa sasa kuambia watu mpaka mambo ya due diligence. Kwa sababu wale walikuwa ni wakora, wali take advantage. So tukienda kununua shamba kama vile Simon amesema kwamba tulikuwa tunalipa 10%. Unalipa 10%, hizi zingine unakuja kulipa baadaye ndio ufanye hii mambo. Na sasa juu trust imeenda kabisa, saa hizi hata hiyo 10% hatutoi. Kwa sababu I remember now there is my friend, one also a CEO in one of our companies. Alikuwa anauziwa plot to 25 million. Akaambiwa atoe 10% of 25 million, which was 2.5. Na wakati walienda hata kufanya, hata kabla wafike pale, wakati walienda kufanya search, wakili wake akamwambia, hebu tuangalia hii kitambulisho. Kuna mahali waliweka kuangalia kama hii kitambulisho ni genuine. Wakaona hiyo mwenye alikuwa anamuuzia shamba alikuwa wa 25 years. Wakaona hiyo ID ni ya mtu wa 65 years. Kauliza hii shamba inakujaje? Mpaka majina hazifanani, kwa sababu ule mtu alikuwa amefanya hiyo ukora yote, amemaliza, amebadilisha mpaka title D inasoma yeye, lakini ilikuwa ni title fake. So saa hizi hata ukienda kununua shamba usitoe hata hiyo 10%. Na kama vile our brothers hapa wamesema, unafanya due diligence, enda kwa ile shamba ambayo unanunua, know the history. Wale walipoteza pesa pale Portrad, hawakuenda pale kwa ground wajue kwanza history ya hii shamba ilikuwa ni ya nani, hii shamba ndio ikuje iingie kwa hii kampuni, ilitoka wapi, na hawakuwa na hiyo. And others they ignored, and where we say that ignorance is not a defense. You cannot defend yourself by saying mimi si kujua. Kwa hivyo inabidi ujue kila kitu. Na ndio unaona hii association inahisisha mambo. Tukijua mtu anafanya biashara, kwa sababu kuna wengine walikuwa anafanya hiyo biashara, anajua Simon akona pesa ama Joroge akona pesa. Kwa hivyo vile walikuwa anajua jua anahitaji tu kutoa 10%, nitajua vile nitamuentize aweze kutoa hiyo 10% haraka. Hata wengine walikuwa wanakuja wanatuambia hii pesa ingine haina haraka. Wewe ukitoa tu 10% utalipa hizo zingine ukishauza, kwa sababu anajua kile anafanya ni ukora. So saa hizi usitoe hata 5%, hata kikwambia 2% usitoe mpaka uhakikishe mwenye anakuzia shamba ni yake. Na naambia watu, hata saa hizi watu wameambiwa ati ukitaka kujua kama shamba ni genuine, fanya search kwanza. Utapoteza pesa zako, kwa sababu hata kufanya search bado ni pesa. Utaambia mtu ndio search itoke haraka, toa pesa fulani. Tumia hizo pesa, lipa fare, enda mahali hiyo shamba inauzwa, uliza hata kama ni jirani, atakueleza. Kwa sababu watu wanapotezea pesa, hata wengine kwa sababu umenunua shamba, kwa wengine ninakuwa ni genuine, lakini ile kampuni unanunuli, ule mtu unanunua kwake, hiyo familia hawasikizani. Kwa hivyo baadaye ukishanunua wanaanza kukuletea kisirani, wakikupeleka kotini. So it is your right to know the history of any land that you are buying in Kenya. Mahali popote unanunua, hata hizi kampuni, na mtu akikuambia kwamba yeye hajai nyang'anya mtu, hata wale walinyang'anya mtu walikuwa wameanza vizuri. Kwa hivyo tunaambia watu waingie kwa resa, waingie kwa association, ndio amalizie vizuri, kwa sababu tukiona wedi vizuri sisi tutakurekebisha. We are your brother's keeper. So it is good to know that. Hiyo ingine kuhusu agriculture land na hizi plot ambazo tunanunua, serikali huwa imeweka, kuna in every county, kuna county wanasema from 500 meters kuendelea na uko ndani, hizo shamba hazifai kukatwa zaidi ya ekari moja, chini ya ekari moja. So they are supposed to be divided from 1 acre and above, because they are agriculture land, and you cannot subdivide that land to plots. Kwa hivyo haiwezi gaanisha hiyo shamba ikuwe plot, kwa sababu already ni agriculture land na serikali ndio inapatiana approvals. Kwa hivyo sisi kama kampuni hatuna nguvu ya kuenda kugaanisha agriculture land. Serikali ndio inaruhusu. Kwa hivyo kile tungeomba tu ni tukue na government officials wenye sio corrupt, yenye haifai kugawanishwa isigawanishwe, lakini hizi zingine zile zimekaribia barabara, hizo zinafaa kugawanishwa. Kwa hivyo they have a policy where you cannot subdivide an agriculture land. Na shiori wewe ukisema ati Kenya tutakuja kugawanisha shamba, Joroge vile umesema tutakuja kugawanisha shamba ishe, Kenya hata saa hii hatujagawa hata kuota. Kenya ni kubwa, ni vile watu watembei. Ukitembea kama hii Turkana County, tulitembea tukatembea ingine inaitwa hii imeshikana na Kilifi, Lamu ni kubwa, Kilifi ni kubwa. Kwa hivyo Kile kinafanyanga uone ni kama shamba zimepungua ni watu kukaa mahali pamoja. Na ukienda hata huku Kiambu na kwingine, kuna shamba bado zimeachwa za kulima. Utaenda upate coffee plantations kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo kile ningetaka zile za kulimwa serikali iendelee kushika. Hata sisi hatuwezi taka kuuza zile ambazo ni agriculture land, because we also need food for our country, and we follow Kenya Constitution, na hata ikifika mahali plot ziishe bado tutauza hizo za acres. So we will still need we will still have a place to exist, because our nation is bigger. Hata kile hatuna ni resources. Kuna mahali tunauziwa shamba tunakosa kwenda kwa sababu hakuna maji, hakuna nini. Kwa hivyo Kenya ni kubwa, inahitajika watu waingie kila mahali, and we are ready to follow the law. Where is not supposed to be subdivided, we will not subdivide. Lakini sasa ukienda mahali tuna subdivide na ni town, na tunaambia town usikate zaidi chini ya quarter, na unapata kwamba ni town na itabaki kukua town. Hata tukiambia tusikate chini ya quarter haitakuwa ya kulima. So let us do what is right. Thank you.
Let me add something a little bit.
Okay.
Especially on data. Only 30% of our nation is populated. Like the rest of the land is still sprawling out there. And I think, so the point I'm trying to make here is data-wise, shamba ziko na zimebaki mingi. And one thing we know is that with devolution now, people can now start moving from, everyone was living thought the urban center is Nairobi. Korogocho, all the slums that we have came up because of everyone was trying to come to the center of the capital of a nation. But I think with the devolution now, in fact, the government is supposed to be encouraging us, because we open up new places and people now are able now to leave the slum, and they can now decide, let me go and stay in Machakos. There's also another town there, and I have all the facilities and the amenities that I need that the government has provided. So I still feel that we have a long way to go. And also it's good to understand that in RESA, part of our membership are in construction. And of course, even as those who are also not constructing, that's a frontier that we are all pursuing, because we also want to complement the government. Because as many adults are there in this nation, shelter is a basic need. So that's a need. In fact, we cannot be able to satisfy the need that is there in the nation concerning shelter. And therefore, that's something that will be ongoing, and we can move from just subdividing land and now to constructing land in the future. Thank you.
His questions, maybe I'll read out a few questions from our social media platforms. And I see Mr. Armstrong Njoroge is asking, how far will you be able to monitor your members' projects, and what action will you take if they don't adhere to your standard? That is one. I also saw another question on our Facebook page. Mr. Sami Light asks, does the association accept the apartment builders or its land sellers only? And also I think a good discussion or one that is quite interesting. Someone asked or said, I guess you're the biggest scam that has ever happened in current age. Probably what would we say about that? I think it's a she continues to say that real estate companies are scams that swindle Kenyans their hard-earned cash. What are we going to say about that? It's a myth, or it's something that's out there that for as long as you're selling land, you're a scammer. What can we say about that?
Thank you. For the question our viewers are asking, and that's why we are here to educate members of the public that not all land buying and selling companies, or even those who are in construction, that are scammers. And that's why we have come together, those who do genuine business. Yeah, we are here publicly to showcase our products, or to show people, or to tell people that you are here, you can verify how we do our operation and such. So we are not scammers, and that's why we are out there in public. Those who are scammers, they will always hide. And as our chairman has said, we have deregistered like 5 companies that we have received complaints from the members of the public, and also we have protected some of the companies that were really got a negative publicity from especially the bloggers without verifying the information. The other thing is you have touched about apartments. Yes, we do welcome those who are doing construction. We have members who are doing construction. We are not only members who are selling land, bare land, but also those who are in construction. We know majority of people have been also defrauded when they had earned money through companies that are in construction. So we have credible companies within RESA that are also doing construction. So we welcome them on board so that we can bring sanity. All of us, we join hands together and bring sanity, those who are genuine, so that demystifying the narrative that all land companies are scammers, as that lady is saying. No, we are not scammers. In fact, if you look at the data, because numbers never lie, we look at how many people have the real estate companies managed to give them, to issue genuine titles, have managed to give them a home. There are so many. In fact, those who have defrauded Kenyans are very few comparing to those who are doing genuine business. So we welcome to her to come to our offices and even get more information. And do follow us in our Facebook and all our platforms so that we continue educating you matters with land, because we have realized the members of the public don't have the right information on the processes of acquiring either a house or a parcel of land. So, and I think we are here to educate the members of the public so that at least we are able to weed out those rogue companies that really defraud members of the public their money. And I don't know if I have answered all those questions or somebody has something else to add. And I also want to add matters with are we going to sell the entire land? No. Every county have their spatial plan. And the process of the approvals, in fact, before any parcel is being allocated that aerial number, the first approval comes from the county government. They are the one who have zoned areas that allow certain subdivision to a certain level, maybe an eighth or a quarter. So the first approval is from the county government. So they are the one who knows this area we have set for industries, this area we have set for residential, high density, low density. So, and I think we need to make it very clear that land selling companies, we follow the laid down from the county government to the national government. So every county has their special plans and they have 5 areas according to how they want to grow their counties. Thank you.
Issue of spatial plan,
yes.
Already Kajiado County introduced a spatial plan the other day, and they said that, I think they now said that the smallest one should be 100 and 100. And already there are some of your companies which had already sold to people 50 by 100. My concern is you have seen such counties that are within Nairobi metropolis have started introducing such things. I'm looking at a case of Keno. Keno is, I think it's almost within Nairobi metropolis. And if you go there, nowadays, they even sell as little as 40 by 80. Don't you think in as much maybe you are talking about special plan, there should be more consultations to do with that?
In fact, we raised issues with those counties from Kiambu, Kajiado, also Murang'a County. When they are doing these spatial plans, they don't involve the stakeholders. We are the stakeholders. We are in the real estate. And if they could have approached us so that we can have our input in matters, how do you regulate this? Like now the Kajiado, I can speak about the Kajiado County. You can't, I think law doesn't work retrogressively. You have you had allowed initially an area to have subdivision of an eighth. Now you are saying the same area you can't subdivide a quarter, an eighth. You can only subdivide from a quarter. And I think law doesn't work like that. And that's why we were really saying they didn't do public participation, so that at least if they could ask, what will you do with already existing. Those who were subdivided 3 years ago, 5 years ago, they are already 8s. In the same area, you tell us you don't want us to subdivide 8s, you want us to subdivide from a quarter and above. But I think for them, they had already zoned areas from the shopping centers to areas along a radius between the highways and roads. They had already given those restriction to areas that they don't want, even not an acre from 5 acres. And we have been following that because we get approvals from the same county government. So we are looking that there be more participation through now, like this association, RESA. Now, they didn't have any way to approach the real estate companies because they don't have the data. Right now, we have the data of the real estate companies that are doing genuine business. And if they approach us, at least we can also have an input on how to manage land well. Majority of us are land managers in terms of land economics. We did land economics. So we are there also to give our input on matters related to land. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I give a chance for more questions, I think I see more questions on our pages on how one applies for membership or how asking if a certain company is a member. I think, like the chairman started by saying, is that you can visit the website of RESA website at www.realtorsolutions.org or send a short code, send the company name to the short code 23878.
Said something about people not to be depositing even a single coin before they purchase land. You see, we have those people who trust you, the real estate companies, to a level that they are also busy. They are not even able to go and do that due diligence. So, as such a people, how do you handle them? Because at the end of the day, I might be busy from day to day. I can't go to the lands office, do that due diligence, go to the site again, asking those questions. So do you stop such a people not to buy land, or what do you think about that? And then number two, we are still having those people who are still even buying properties. When they go for the site visit, they deposit their money even on the property. They have said, this is my portion, I've already paid for it. What's your take on that, sir?
One reason why we started RESA is to make that work to be easier for you. Because first, when you search the company is one of our members, now you can be able to trust that company. And I know many people, even the one that we transact with them, those who buy land with us are in diaspora. And the reason why they don't lose their money, first they know the history of the companies. If the companies had been doing what is right, it cannot do wrong the time that you are transacting. So don't trust all the people, don't trust the company because it has just advertised on the radio or on the media. First, it is also good to know the history and know why they have not registered with us, because we are going beyond, because we are not even not making people to be members. We want also to be the source of information in this country, and that's why we have an easy number that is 0742 23 23 23. We want also to make all your work to be easier. You can call that number. We can tell you where the land registry is located, where the land offices are located. We make your work to be easier because we are in the point of contact. We want to help you. We want to make Kenyans not lose their money. That's why you see, even here, it is not only my own land. We have several companies. The reason why we are here, because I trust Gitau. I know that he does a genuine work. He does a genuine transactions. That's why we are seated here without a fear. We cannot sit with somebody that I fear. I know what he is doing is not what I am doing. That's why we are creating a forum This forum is to restore your confidence. You know, there are even some people who are buying land, and the time you buy land, that night you cannot sleep because you know you have just risked your money. We don't want you to risk anymore. That's why we have a forum that you can trust. You have a forum that you can know, if I want a land somewhere, this forum can guide you. This forum can help you. We are just a bridge to your success. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and we are about to wind up, so I think I'll take our last round of questions before we wind up. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen and lady, I think my question is, and lady, maybe Madam Lady will tell us if it is hard. It looks as if it's a male-dominated profession. That one I'll still come to you. But please give us a simplified way of owning land. How do maybe I'm hearing for the very first time that there is land and I want to own a piece of land. And I also want to know, there are so many jargons that have been thrown here, like land board. I've never even heard what is a land board, special board, a land board. We don't know. So where do I begin so that by the time I commit my money, I commit my resources, I'll still get that beloved title deed? Madam Lady.
Do that site visit. Go visit the land, go see the beacons, because that's one of the first things that you want to understand. Where is your boundary of the plot that you want to buy? See the beacons. Just the site visits in most companies are free. Just take that initiative. Let's not be lazy buyers. Let's just take that initiative of going ourselves and viewing the land. From there, ask for a copy of the title. Do a search. Right now, I always say that you can actually go yourself, or maybe ask a lawyer. I think it's about 3,000 or 2,000 to do the search for you. Confirm the land is indeed belongs to the person who is selling to you. Proceed now to do a sales agreement that protects yourself, and that protects also the land, the person who's selling the land to you, because also, we also need to protect ourselves. So both parties are protected. From there, proceed with the payments as agreed. Like you were told earlier, it does take about 90 days for a title to come out. If it comes out earlier, then hooray to the person who's buying. It does happen, but let's always try to be patient with the process, because you're not buying a bottle of water. You're buying a piece of land that is supposed to go from one generation to another, depending on what you're buying the land for. So let's be patient with the process. In most companies, what they do right now, in order to make it a bit easier for you, they handle the transfer process for you, which is the all-inclusive package, which is now the simplest way, so that because not a lot of people can handle the transfer process. We have the diaspora clients who are abroad. We cannot expect them to come here, file for a consent, proceed to there. It's a hassle for them. So we do have the all-inclusive package where we do the transfer on their behalf. And being a member of RESA, they are guaranteed that the companies that are in this association will deliver, because we already governed ourselves. We have to deliver. There are rules, there are terms and conditions that we have to do. So we deliver on behalf of our clients. So some of these things we just walk them through, depending on what they want to know or how they want to take part in the transfer process. Yes.
In these cases, sometimes the real estate company, as much as buyers, they are also saying that they are being conned by real estate firms. But there's this case whereby the real estate firms, they are being conned by the initial owner of the property. Such a conflict as the association, how do you mitigate the same?
Thank you for that question. And I think for the first time now we have a place where even us, because we also have our issues. Sometimes land company themselves, they are conned, as you're saying, and it's the customers who most of the time when they are conned are the one who raise their voices. For us, we have nowhere to go and maybe share and complain. The first thing we have done is, for example, I'm not selling in Nanyuki, and maybe I want to go to Nanyuki. I already have a brother or a company that is already there. I have Nyota Njema here, I have Lisi there, they are there. And now because of our sharing of information, because we are already a network, one, it's able to help me mitigate the fact that when I go there, I know the genuine brokers. Maybe I need a broker to show me where the land is. He know the area, he know the blocks. So there is a lot of work that instead of me going to a new place and starting all over and getting myself into a mess, I'm able to use my brother because he already know the ground. We are not competing. He's not feeling like you are coming to compete with me. Then he helps you do a lot of work when it comes to due diligence, even as a company. But already there are some that you realize, as we said, someone went and put a deposit. And then another company came and gave more money, bigger company or whatever, because of competition. There are some of those issues that the association is handling. Because we are saying there is also the ethics of how we do business. If you go and hear someone has come here, they have had an agreement, you cannot just come and say, now I'll top up. Because some of those issues that have brought fraud is because someone will come, offer more money, and they say, huyo mtu arudishiwe pesa. Or rather, kunatokea tu issue, mtu amepitisha, you agreed maybe, there's this timeline you're supposed to, umepitisha na siku mbili. Someone is telling you, hii kitu usimrudishie, niuza hii shamba. So there is ways in which, as an association, as a network, that we are already finding that this is my brother. We can sell the same area, and my customers see wake. So because of that, we have a very good way of sharing information. When someone is coming in an area I'll hold their hands and take them there. I'll show them the loopholes and the hoops they have to jump here and there. And in that way, we are able to safeguard one another. As we are saying, we are our brother's keeper. But it's very important also to note here that bad news sells faster, because there's someone who has said that in terms of land, the whole industry is land fraud. One thing that is there is that millions and millions of people who are living in their own homes, courtesy of real estate companies, areas that have opened up, those people, they get their land, they go home and they rest. They don't post it because and they don't talk about it. But one or two people, or like for example, right now what we are having in Mavoko and some other places, the other places people have settled and they have changed the narrative. And we have those good stories which people are not speaking about. And I think it's about time, because even our media and people who are also in those spaces can go and now want to find out. Is it just doom and gloom out there? Are there people who are having their own homes? Are there people who, in their history of their families, no one had even an eighth, but they are living in their own home? Wanajiita landlord in this nation, courtesy of these real estate companies. Because ukienda kununua direct kwa mwenyewe, anakuambia alipa within 90 days. Mtu anakuja kwetu tunampea even 2 years. Unapata client, corona came, wengine walianza kulipa wakashindwa, and we waited for them to finish, which would not have happened if they had bought direct from owners. And we are changing. We have been very beneficial. We have brought what we call diaspora remittances in this nation. Right now, we are one source of foreign exchange, and we are doing so much to open up new areas and help the government in also paying taxes. We pay very high taxes that the people don't know. So that was in answer to someone who raised something here, and it's good to know that it's good to do research and want to find out what is not being said, because good news it doesn't spread fast as bad news does. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to add on that. We lose money while buying land. It is also good to know that we have some members who have been conned, and they have lost a lot of money. So what I want to tell Kenyans, and also answer your question, we don't survive in this business because we don't face challenges. We survive because we made a decision. So when we lose money, we source for some funds to recover the gaps. So and what I want to tell Kenyans, it's good to know that we are in this business because we decided to help you. We decided to answer the call, because this business is a call, because the challenges and the pressures sometimes we undergo is a lot. But because we made a decision that we will not leave until we fulfill the dreams of our people, that's why we are still on the progress. We have lost, even some members have lose a lot of money. If they mention, you just fall. But we have some banks which listens to us and funds even funds the projects that are undergoing. So we recover even the losses as we continue. So we don't stop because we are undergone situations. We continue because we have a great destiny. Thank you.
I really like how, Chairman, you say this business is a calling. Maybe it will also impact to us for it to be a calling. But now, as we come to an end of this, the thorn in the flesh is the issue of regulation. There came the first bill by Getari, which I think he had to hold on. Now there is the Chesang one, which every one of us is talking about. The court of public opinion out here says you guys are really opposed to regulation, and that's why you are really telling us you have a code of conduct within yourselves. Really, do you really think that code of conduct will work? Well, there are still wounds from us Kenyans who still have bad stories about you. Why is it that you guys are opposed to regulation? And if you are not opposed to regulation, what measures do you want to be put in place for us to have sanity in this industry?
And confidence.
Okay, that's a good question. It has come at the right time to me. The first thing is, evil prevail when good people do nothing. That is the first underlying statement. And I believe why we have had a lot of problems is because you are all in Kamwene style. Everybody was pulling for themselves and God for us all. So there was nowhere you can be able to attach a person to a group. So if, for instance, Company X con people or steal from people, there was nowhere you could be able to say, these guys are your members. The same way, and I use several organizations that are happening. We have RSK. If a lawyer cons you or a lawyer does any wrong business with you, you can report them to RSK. If you go to the Kenya bankers, a bank has done something wrong to you. Remember the cases when the Chase Bank was going down. The Kenya bankers came together and were able to give assurance to the bankers. And many other cases I can go along and along. When the KMPDU has a wrong doctor happening in the medical industry, they come out and speak. We have been having no voice for real estate because we were all competing until a point when one of the most scandalous event happened and everybody had to come out of their comfort zone and said, you know what, we cannot be beaten, all of us, by one fist. We need to come together and unite for the right thing, because if one has never stolen from anybody and we are all called cons, some of us have gone to the diaspora. The first thing when you speak and say you are interested, people tell you, nyinyi wezi wa mashamba, and you have never even maybe stolen from anybody anything, leave alone even a shamba. So the first thing is to understand association is not here. We are not competing with anybody. Actually, even if there were several associations, we would be happy to have them as far as they are for the right purpose. But again, we'll see people want to have associations just for their own self-interest. Our self-interest here is this one. Our customers' interests are protected. Can we speak in one voice? When there is an issue with the lands office, can we speak in one voice? When there is an issue with the county, can we speak in one voice? But again, we are encouraging, maybe what you don't know, behind the scenes we are trying to negotiate with the lawmakers so that we can be able to come with regulations that are going to help our industry. You mentioned about some of the bills that have been passed, have been proposed. I can tell you, I personally have sat with Chesang, and he can stand and say whether that's true. And we have given our contribution behind the back. When the real time comes, you'll see us in Parliament giving our own contribution on what we feel is right for the industry. So we are not going to be left behind as it has been. If I came in with my company previously and said I want to give contribution to the bill, I'll be given maybe a certain, you know what happens when you start trying to rise up. You'll actually have been hit. But now as an association, I can speak confidently as giving a voice of the association. So I believe when those roles which we are pushing, I know we have pushed these people, we have talked to them, we have engaged them. We have the chairman of the lands committee who is Medhu in Senate, because you know we deal with counties. We have engaged with him, we engaged with Chesang, we have engaged even with Gitari himself. We are trying not to compete, but to bring synergies and see how can we be able to bring together sanity in real estate. Because we feel bad. These are our brothers, our sisters, our parents who have lost money. So we don't want to hear this every time. We want to see whether in our generation, can we bring a transformation which can be long-lasting for the future. So we are working together with the parliamentarians to see how this can be done. And let me just say something on top of what my colleagues have said. Initially, many areas were not developed. Why? Because land was owned by a few people who had a lot of land and they could not be able to develop anything on the land. You find an old Mzee has 100 acres, but he is a poor millionaire he doesn't have money to develop on that land. He's not farming, he's not building anything. So when we come in as real estate companies, we subdivide. When I have my small portion of land in that portion, I'm maybe going to buy to build my home for my children. So it becomes a livelihood, not only for me where I get a home, but even those guys who are doing the houses, those guys who are doing the beaconing, those guys who are doing the fencing, those guys who are doing, we are creating a lot of jobs which are hidden, maybe from the face value that you cannot see. Maybe you may not realize that most of us here, we have employed more than 2 million people at large. Maybe you don't, it may not be visible because maybe they are casuals. And these guys are the guys who do our fences, they do our, they do the security of our properties, they do the beaconing, they do, when we start construction, they are the guys who are doing the work. So I believe, in line with what the president has been pushing, affordable housing, this is part of the affordable housing. Not everybody will want to stay in an apartment in Park Road, but somebody can decide they want to live in a house in Kagudo Road, in their own property. Again, we'll provide affordable land and provide affordable construction processes, then they become part of owners of the land. So we are looking forward to not only partner with the local government in the county level, but also partner with the national government from the assembly and even with the president himself. Maybe one day you can meet with him and tell him, we are not fighting the affordable housing or agriculture. We are actually respecting, as my colleague said, we are respecting the set forth geospatial arrangements. But again, before they approve them, let's not be retrogressive. Let's work together so that we can be progressive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as we come to an end, I think I'll give from who just received the mic, maybe a minute each for us to say our parting shot, and then we can end.
Thank you so much for this interview. In fact, it is so educative to educate Kenyans. And what we have learned today is all about doing the due diligence, and there's something that we have added, the short code over the association. And it's true that you have to search the company which you are investing, which you are putting your money in, that if it's not registered under the association, you should run away. So that's my conclusion.
Shuri, I was waiting for your parting question.
No, I would say at least when chairman told me that you guys are setting up an association, and you know what prompted the whole thing, I told him there are good people in the industry, that is a fact. But there are small elements within the sector. And then nowadays when I have an issue, I always call chairman, I ask him, so-and-so is saying this, would you mind maybe you have a meeting with these two people who are fielding over this, the transaction, maybe you can have a closure. And that's because we are not here to kill the industry, and Gedeji can tell you. We are not happy when we write bad news. But when we say there is an association, now I know their issues are being attended, and we have said 5 companies have been registered. We don't want to know the names because of the legal issue and everything. But I'm happy when we see kind of this association. Because initially you guys were competitors, purely competitors. You set up a project here, then someone sets another one next. But there was that formation, and I'm happy to say that going forward, maybe Knight Frank started the way you guys are. Maybe going forward you can have like a annual report. Like this year, we've registered 10 companies. These are the most prime areas people can buy land. You can even have a forum instead of fronting the association like we are. This is our mission and vision and everything. You take people through. This is how you buy a land. Even those vernacular. This is how you buy a land. This is what board approval entails. This is, this is how you need a lawyer, because you go to the village, someone needs like 100K. He or she doesn't even know you need a lawyer from both sides. Ask those people who even got scammed in the process of buying land. Most of them, they had like, the seller's lawyer is the one who was drafting the agreement. So it's a one-sided agreement. I read one, finally, because I don't want to go deeper into this. All those people we've interviewed, and my colleague can attest, you ask them, did you see the title deed? No. Who drafted the agreement? The seller's lawyer. Because Kenyans, they have this mentality. The minute they hit 100, they assume they cannot be conned. That's the problem I've noticed. We are 100, now we assume these guys are genuine. And they believe advertising and editorial, they are two different things. Because there's something on Inoro FM or at Daily Nation, they think, this guy is, it's genuine. It's genuine. But just do, registering a company, no one asks you, are you genuine or not?
Sure.
You just pay less than 1,000 and you have that registration and everything. But you go just do your own due diligence. Because they say, I saw it in the newspaper, I saw it on TV, but it's you upon you. Just get a good lawyer. And even if you're getting a lawyer to transact, just check whether he or she is registered at a LSK. That's like an umbrella of the lawyers and everything. And take time.
Maybe the final one, I would urge you, maybe you talk to your members, especially those of you who sell big land, because there is a general concern that most people pay, but they end up being told, I have the mother title, so nobody will come to remove you out of this land. And you find there are really serious concerns regarding that.
I'll say these as my parting shot. I'd like to show you for the comment. This guy, you were saying he was hitting us, but actually you helped us to become better by making sure that you expose the wrong people and we were able to come together as the right people. And there's somebody who I was checking on the social media, somebody says, we do clean business, we don't see the need of an association. I want to just tell you something. Nobody is self-sustaining. We need each other. If you want to go fast, you can go alone. But if you want to go far, you need to work with people. My belief is I may not be the Holy Spirit to understand everything about real estate. But when I talk with my friends here, Dominic and the rest, they tell me something. I realize, so I've been doing this wrong. But I was thinking I was doing it perfectly. So I believe it is the high time we come together, and I look forward, like what you just verified. If you want to verify a lawyer is good, you can go to LSK. I look forward to even one day have maybe a regulation that can ascertain that real estate stakeholders, it is stakeholders, it's not only land sellers, it's not only land developers. I know there's KPDA, there's KIPRA, which helps us in training. You can imagine all this if we came together and came up with a regulation which can help us. One day, if you want to verify a company is genuine, they must be registered. So what we are doing right now, we are selling value. When you see value, people will buy to it. When they see the value of the association, even those who are feeling it is not the right time, they will come and join. Because one day, who knows, even you can be conned as a developer, as Dominic said. So when you are conned as a developer, what do? You find yourself alone, crying alone, and nobody will be there for you. So my advice to all of us is, let's come together. Because when people come together, great things happen. And it's a high time, as real estate, we come out of our comfort zone and say enough is enough. Competition is not not all healthy. We need complementation. Because when you complement each other, I will not find his banner, his billboard, and break it because maybe I'm feeling he's selling better than I am. We'll actually become more friends than becoming more competitors. And we'll make our industry and our country better. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I think it's been a fruitful engagement. And I think my parting shot is in regard to who we are. We are self-regulating, but we are not competing with the government body. Because I think there has been a misconception and people feel like we are running away from the government regulation. But actually, what brought us together is we usually say charity begins at home. We start with ourselves. We start with our own regulation. We become the voice. We become the eyes for even those things that even the government cannot see behind, because we are on the ground. Because I do believe everything that every regulation that is brought up also require people on the ground, and therefore we are that voice. And I think we need to be involved in the regulation that are coming up and things that the government is engaging in, because we are the people on the ground. But on that note, we are not competing with any aspect of the government. We are there to be regulated by the government, but we will start ourselves regulating each other for the benefit of our players in the industry, and also our buyers of our product. We want to safeguard their interest as a lesser. Thank you.
Thank you. My parting shot, I would like to encourage members of the public to be aware about this association so that they can start verifying the companies that are selling land to them. And also as part of due diligence, it's also good to do a company search to verify who are the directors, because they are the one who will transfer the land to you. So it's also good to do that search for the companies, as you also search for companies within RESA that we have decided to do good business. Together we are strong, and divided we be very weak. Thank you so much.
So, I think I'm going to speak mostly to the ladies because, you know, the panel has been full of gentlemen here. And my parting shot is to the ladies out there. This association is also for you. It's here to protect you. It's here to safeguard your vision of what you want to do with your money and investments. So if you're looking to invest in land, if you're looking to invest in some property or apartment or anything, just look at the companies that are affiliated with this association. Protect yourself, protect your investments, as in make an initiative to just do the work. Just because the panel is full of male doesn't mean that it's not for you. Trust me, ladies, there are a lot of female behind us. We could not all fill up this panel today, but trust me, this association is here to safeguard your interest. So just follow us and get educated. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for watching us and listening to us. Thank you, all panelists, for doing a good job. Thank you for your good questions. And our viewer, thank you for staying there for us. And we want to encourage you, it is not all lost. You may have lost money along the way, but all is not lost. So verify if any investor is our member before you purchase that land. We don't want you to cry again when we are here. So verify, go to our website, go to SMS, write that short code, ask that company if it is a member, and you'll get a result. And you just write that one word, Maono Lands Limited, only that, and the message will come if he is a member or not a member. So we want to make this work easier because a shelter is a need. We have 3 basic needs. We have food, shelter, and clothes. So that's why we sell land, and that's why we sell houses. That's why we make sure that you have a portion that can be called after a name, because a shelter is a basic need. God bless you. We are here to restore the confidence. Thank you.
The end of the question and answer session with the Real Estate Stakeholders Association. For more information, I'm sure we're going to keep doing this, so keep it on our social handles. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch us. It was a very engaging and informative, I hope, to you too. My name is Wangoi Dirango. Thank you very much for keeping it Resa.
Good news, good news. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders neo RESA riu nirehete kihonia thiini wa thogora ya migunda ni undu wa kugita turia nime na riu nimarugoretie mutambo wa website niguo www.realtorsolutions.org na no utume short code kuri 23878 wandike kambuni iria urenda kumenya kana iri thiini wa association macerere Royal Spa Mall, second floor, S37, thimone 0742 232323. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders, restoring confidence in investment. Good news, good news. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders neo RESA riu nirehete kihonia thiini wa thogora ya migunda ni undu wa kugita turia nime na riu nimarugoretie mutambo wa website niguo www.realtorsolutions.org na no utume short code kuri 23878 wandike kambuni iria urenda kumenya kana iri thiini wa association macerere Royal Spa Mall, second floor, S37, thimone 0742 2323. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders, restoring confidence in investment. Good news, good news. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders neo RESA riu nirehete kihonia thiini wa thogora ya migunda ni undu wa kugita turia nime na riu nimarugoretie mutambo wa website niguo www.realtorsolutions.org na no utume short code kuri 23878 3878 wandike kambuni iria urenda kumenya kana iri thiini wa association. Macerere Royal Spa Mall, second floor, S37, thimone 0742 232323. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders, restoring confidence in investment.
Us who are watching us online, kindly make sure that you share. For those of us who are watching us online, kindly make sure that you share so that this information can get to many. We want to go global, as we have been told by my mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce again our chairman as he takes us through this. Tumpige makofi tafadhali. For those of us who are watching us online, kindly make sure that you share so that this information can get to many. We want to go global, as we have been told by my mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce again our chairman as he takes us through this. Tumpige makofi tafadhali. For those of us who are watching us online, kindly make sure that you share.
Good news, good news. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders neo RESA riu nirehete kihonia thiini wa thogora ya miguda ni undu wa kugita turia nime na riu ni maruguretie mutambo wa website niguo www.realtorsolutions.org na no utume short code kuri 23878 wandike kambuni iria urenda kumenya kana iri thiini wa association. Macerere Royal Spa Mall, second floor, S37, thimone 0742 2323. Association of Real Estate Stakeholders, restoring confidence in investment.
Hizo vitu zote hapo.
Twende ukagunywe chai, nitakuandikia niko na kalamu. Haujabakisha kitu? Angaya leshe na magala nyanya. Halo ndugu yangu. Mimi hata huko nilishahama kitambo. Siku hizi nilienda.
Sasa nisaidie bana. Kata hiyo simu.
Sasa mbona unakuja umenigonga hivyo? Wewe unaongea na simu?
Nimeibiwa, nataka unisaidie.
Nimeibiwa na nani?
Nimeibiwa, nilinunua shamba, nikaenda kujenga, leo nikapata mtu mwingine amejenga.
Pole. Hiyo inaitwa kukoniwa ndugu yangu. Wewe umekoniwa live mchana jua ikiwa juu. Ndugu yangu acha nikusaidie. Siku nyingine ukitaka kununua shamba, una verify kama hiyo kampuni inakuhusia iko registered.
Masai sijui kama unashika.
Ndugu yangu usijali, kuja nikuonyeshe. Kuna watu ambao wanasaidia watu. Soma hapa imeandikwa
S37.
Karibu ndani. Madam.
Habari.
Yes, mzuri sana. Sasa nataka usaidie hii, amekoniwa.
Pole sana kwa hayo. Wakati mwingine ukinunua shamba, unahakikisha kuwa kampuni unayonunua nayo imejiregister kwa Association of Real Estate Stakeholders.
Sasa nahakikisha aje madam?
Hiyo ni rahisi. Unatuma jina hiyo kampuni kwa code ambayo ni 23878 ama unaangalia jina hiyo kampuni kwa website yetu ambayo ni www.realtorsolutions.org.
Niandikie hizo vitu zote hapo.
Twende ukagunywe chai, nitakuandikia niko